Ready?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sock Talks with Joy and Sean here today. And we're glad to have you here. And before we get started, we always want to tell you, please tag your teammates, stick it on here, take a look. Hopefully there's like one little tidbit at least that you can pick out of what we're saying and enjoying our time here with you. And definitely, pass this on, and you will find us on YouTube as well. So welcome. Glad you're here
Welcome.
today. Hi, Sean. What's new
Hey,
in
first,
Florida?
I know you got, thank you, Kathy, for the really cool card and all the screenshots. So very cool. Thank you. So
Yeah, Kathy, thank you for that. That was so funny. I just laughed and I'm thinking, ooh, that picture doesn't look good. Ooh, that one doesn't look
wait,
good.
I didn't really look at most of mine. I'm laughing. So
Oh, imagine that, right?
yeah.
Imagine that. So that's cool. That was cool. Yeah, it was a fun card. So really appreciate that. So anyway, Sean, so what do you want to talk about today?
So today, I have a friend down from Columbus, does send out cards, and we were talking yesterday. He's like, I need to get more consistent with it. I'll go through spurts and stuff. And then in BNI today, I spoke at a BNI group, and that consistency word came up there. So I'm like, we've talked about consistency with as the business side of being consistent, but how do we get when you get a customer, or maybe somebody's, because I hear it, I just don't use it as much as I should. So how do you get them to get it? I don't to be more consistent. I mean, what kind of things do you do, Joy, to get your customers, being more consistent?
I was hoping you'd answer that first, because we all go through it. I mean, we all go through it. I know. We all go through it with our customers. Sometimes I like to say to them right off the bat, I said, you know what? I said, just send one card a day for now. Start out one card a day, and then I'll take them to the Facebook and actually do one in front of them, actually from my own app and my things like this is how quickly it can happen. And I was sharing with you right before we got on here about an event I was at last night, and people were, shouting out and, thanking for the cards and all this kind of stuff, and I had two people that afterwards, we set up free accounts for them,
Nice.
but the cool thing about it was that I was able to, after we did that, then I showed them, I said, let me show you how quick and easy and fun this is. And I said, take the fun out if you want to look at it as that. One of them was the nonprofit that actually won our funds, and I said, thanking people is one thing, and it's something we all should do a lot more of. But you know what? Those same people have a life and they have things going on in their life. And when you can grab something from their, and throw it in a card real quick, and if you could just make yourself consistent to do one a day, start with one, and some days you're going to do two, but you don't want to have any days you do zero.
Right.
Yeah,
Like the 10 cards, be consistent. Don't do 20 today and 0 tomorrow. Do 10 a day if that's what we threw out there last week. I think that I've come across, and I'm like, did you download the app? No, download it. All right, sign in. Let's send a quick. And I try to. I mean, when I'm doing a presentation, I tell people, look, I do all my photo postcards and my photo cards, like I take from Facebook. I do them all from the phone. All from, 95%. Unless I do want to do something inside, make a little. But I do most of the Facebook stuff, pulling the picture. I do from the phone.
Yeah.
And I think it's, when I was talking with Kevin, and I'm like, when I first started, it was just group sends for my clients because we couldn't do picture way back when there weren't smartphones, you couldn't do picture cards. So it was just group sends. And until they added the, when we called it photo or picture plus, where you can make your own cards. And I think, when people start doing those, like you said, and they get the feedback, hey, thanks, that was really cool. And it's like, well, I should do more of those, and so, yeah, you're right. Get one a day. Can you do one a day?
Yeah. Yeah, because I know, I think we've all like started out with somebody that's just like, do three a day. And that's even overwhelming. It's like, let's just make this simple, one a day.
One. Yep.
But one a day is not easy.
So we got feedback.
I know, I see.
One a day is still difficult when you are working and doing other things, and you don't have an address. I see a great picture. I save a picture on my phone, I don't have their address.
Or you forget who the picture is.
No, I know, like, I know who they are, but I don't have their address. If I had their address in send out cards right then, I would send that picture, it would be done one a day. It's so simple.
So my feedback was that text them or message them through Facebook and say, can I get your mailing address?
Yeah, exactly.
And his comment
That was gonna
was,
be the first
easy
thing.
for me to do that with friends, but
Yeah,
if they're kind of an associate or I kind of don't know, so then that's that thinking that, oh, and then they don't give you your address, where if you just go, and because you'll get in the habit, maybe the first few you're like that, but then you're like, I'm just gonna ask, if they say no, they say no, they're lost.
right,
So,
right.
or setting time aside, I told him, I do a lot in the morning. Get up and check Facebook, happy birthdays, then I look at who I don't have the birthday in there for. And if I don't have their address, I message them, hey, see your birthday's coming up. Look through Facebook, who posted great pictures. But I've gotten better, even in the last year, of asking through Messenger for addresses, where before I kind of had that block where I have a great picture, but I don't even know where we're connected. But
Right.
now it's like, I'm gonna ask for their address. They give it to me fine, and most do, especially if
Yeah,
it's a
most do,
mailing address.
you have occasional that don't do that. Two things, what you were saying there is, in asking for the address or somebody new setting up the account, gosh, that kind of goes right into, and it kind of triggered me as we were talking. It's like, okay, maybe what we need to say to people is like, do you have all of your people right now? Everybody has like a paper address book, or not paper, maybe it's online, it's like, do you have all your addresses someplace? Yeah, okay. We can get them downloaded in there like ASAP. It's very simple to do, but then we have a VA service that'll do it for you, kind of a thing. I mean,
Or
like
message
that,
on
but
your, they'll
maybe
even go to
that
your
needs to
Facebook.
be something, maybe that needs to be something a little bit more to help them get them in there, first, and then it becomes
That's a great
quick.
idea.
And
Yeah.
you're right, and a little thing with before you pull the picture on somebody from Facebook that you want to send a card to, put them in a save file. There's a save file on Facebook that you can put them in there, and you'll have their name and everything else in that photo, and then message them for the address. Then you haven't lost it and haven't sent somebody the wrong one, or whatever the case may be, and message them that way. But yeah, messaging thing and letting them know. It's funny, this conversation came up here as you talk about the wrong thing. I actually have a templated card for when somebody loses their pet, the rainbow bridge card, kind of thing. And I'll go in and I will change the photo and change the name of the pet, and that kind of thing, and send it. Somebody 2 days ago messaged me, she said, thank you, Joyce, so much. You're always on top of this. She says, but this isn't my dog. So what I don't know, and I don't know, because these
That's
things
why I
can
do
happen.
each one of them individually.
I know.
don't save
Well,
stuff like that because that's something I would do.
yeah, well, here's the thing,
Sorry, you lost your cat. I'm a
yeah,
dog
here's the thing,
person.
it's saved in my custom files, but there are occasions sometimes where something blips, and
Yeah,
it just,
yeah.
it just didn't change. But anyways, back, and you
I
said another
appreciate the
thing.
sentiment.
Yeah, I know. It's just those tangents we go off on. So then the other thing is, you were talking about when you send cards most. I don't know whether this is a good thing to say publicly or not, but
In the bathroom.
many of my cards go out before I even get out of bed in the morning, because I just like pull that phone and, I'm scrolling and I'm sending the postcards, flat cards, right off the bat. I'm not even saving them,
Right.
And you and I, as the point is with the addresses, you and I have been around a long time. Most of the addresses are in there, but even if they're not in there, it's a simple little message, on the Facebook. It's like, hey, and if it's something to congratulate him for or acknowledge him for, say something, it's like, hey, I'd love to send you something special through the mail. I said, give me your mailing address or whatever the case may
Saw
be.
you had a great vacation, or saw your kid did something, maybe that little extra connection of why you
Yes,
asking
exactly.
for it. And if you're in the
Exactly.
real estate world, and if they own a home, but then you got to go to that website, type them in, and hopefully you type it correctly. That's stretching, but just getting in the habit of just, really want to, when you said mail you something special, I saw a great picture on Facebook and I just want to share it with you on a postcard, tying it in somehow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
it's
great
okay
idea.
to surprise them, but it's okay to tell them why too.
Well, you'll ask them that and they'll send you your
Yeah.
address, and then in 2 minutes they'll forget about that conversation. Then boom, it shows up at their house.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's much. And going back to like, I don't have these addresses. Well, the chances of you not having every person from Facebook that you're looking across that you don't have their address is going to be
Pretty good. Yeah.
pretty good. I said, so, pick the people then, start out with
Well,
that. The point is to start doing it.
if you explain the importance of getting somebody's name and address in send out cards, especially if you're using send out cards for your business, it's just helping you build a better relationship with that person that may do business with you down the road. So if you've got a okay, that's top-notch realtor just posted something cool. I've never had a conversation with him or her. Love to get some business from them. Let me ask for their address. And maybe that first card, you wouldn't let, 90% of the time you don't hear back. They think maybe you see them at an event. Hey, thanks for that card. That was really cool. But then you now have it, that you now can start dripping on them with other stuff. So maybe it's just connecting the dots for our customers, because most are using it for their business. And again, we talk about, look, it's a great way to stay top of mind. And those touch cards every month, every other month, or once a quarter are great. But when you start doing the pictures on the cards, we're talking to the choir, but I mean, that's the magic, and that's really what's going to have the biggest impact.
And the more you do this yourself, in talking with your customers and trying to get them to see that value yourself, they've already experienced it. So if you be on top of it and make sure that they're experiencing that, and then it's going to be a better conversation when you talk to them. I love saying to them, I says, how you felt? How many people in your life would like to feel the same way?
Right, because I'm sure Kevin has some saved cards that I've sent, and some got immediately ripped up.
Yeah.
No one's seeing that picture of me. How did he even get on Facebook?
You said something there, Sean, that really triggered too. Have you seen the video with Tom Hopkins? It's like a 6-minute video that they interviewed him with send out cards. You can find it on YouTube, and it's actually been floating around a little bit too. But anyways, I showed that at my last BNI meeting, or the last presentation that I had. And one of the key sentences that he said a lot of cool things, but one of the key things that really resonated is like, the sale is not over when you've got the money. When you've got the money, the sale is just beginning.
True.
And I thought, wrap your head around that a little bit. Because
well, how many people don't think that way? They're like, all right, where's my next one? And we talk, where's my next one coming from?
Exactly.
Or if I cultivate that relationship, they're going to pay me back. So that's a great one.
And that's like, and I think you've had it as well as me. I would think we talked about it before, is I've had realtors tell me to my face in a conversation, well, I sold the house to them, and it's like, well, I'm not going to, they're not going to buy another house for 5 years. And it's like, wow. So the average person knows what, 500 to 700 people or something like that. I don't even know what the number
is. Do you think
is.
they'll know somebody that's going to buy a house or sell a house?
So for 5 years, 700 people, that's 3,500 people that could buy a house, and you don't want your name to come up first in any kind of conversation. So
sometimes it's just connecting that dot and smacking them in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and right now is a perfect example of what's going on in the real estate, title, mortgage, all this world, because I don't want to say nobody had to really market for the last 2 or 3 years.
But they did.
Okay, you're right. But what if they would have been doing the things that and we had this conversation last night, that they know they should have been doing. So they're all scrambling, and whether it's send out cards or sending the postcard to market their, not once a year, but once a quarter or every other month, or doing, it's human nature. It's going good, Well, now I need to scramble, and I need to put all those things back in place, and consistency.
It's all consistency. So it goes right down to what we started with. How do you get people to be consistent?
So I'd say, get them to, challenge one card a day. Connect the dots for them. Why do you want to do this? Well, you wanted to do this for your business. Yes, we're doing the drip campaigns, but the individual cards are really, that's the magic.
Yeah.
And you're right. You brought it up, like, you've got some for me, how to make you feel. What if your
Exactly
clients
right.
felt
Be the
that way?
example. Be the
Yeah,
example.
no.
Get that feeling of how they get their emotion rolling.
Right.
And then just turn that right around and say, what do you think is, or how would your customers feel?
Right. And being honest and knowing that not all are going to do it. You just
No.
have, so, but if you can get the ones that are kind of on the fence, that, over the fence. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know if you have it, Sean. I set up I have a Facebook group, Kindness Counts with Cards, which is solely for my customers. Not solely, I have all kinds of people. Yeah, and very few people on there that don't have or have not experienced send out cards.
Okay.
Free account, so I'm always, I'm occasionally putting out there to them about a challenge. And just kind of like, I'm always throwing offbeat holidays out there to them, with what they can do with that kind of thing and kind of keep that in front of them. But that's not making them consistent, but it's at least making them aware.
Right.
But I do think
all we can do.
a whole lot starts with what kind of example you are setting, the pace you are doing.
I'm setting a great one with him and it still doesn't work. So he's going to be the ones maybe just never gets it.
I am a great example.
And he's sitting right here. What doesn't happen? No.
Great example.
Hey, do we have any more questions from your side?
Any other questions you'd like to ask while you're on here with us?
Look, I will continue to say it's very easy when you do this all the time and you have your list. One a day, like I literally, when you guys were talking about it, I went to look and I've got 1,000 people on my Facebook friend, 1,076.
So you got 3 years covered.
Out of those, I've got 500 people that I know extremely well. I've got another 250 that I know well enough to pick up the phone and call if I needed something really. And the other 250, I'm not sure I know them, but
right.
out of my send out cards list, I think I got 97 people in send out cards on my list.
So maybe that's the thing of
I'm missing 900 people's
Right.
addresses. That is daunting and overwhelming to me to do that. And so one a day is not just hey, I saw a cool picture, let me get your address. It's, hey, saw a cool picture, saved it, let me get your address. Now I've got to go into send out cards and add you in on the address. Then I've got to create the card. Then I've got to send it.
Excuses.
No, that's
No,
the reality.
Right.
Yeah. What I have to do is get past my own excuse.
Right. So what if you said, okay, 7 days, 5, I'm going to send cards. No, I know I've got them in here. And then 2 a week. I'm going to look at, okay, I know I don't have them in send out. I'm going to reach out. Maybe I do them both in the same day and reach out. Or maybe you take some time and say, like we talked about the virtual assistant, where what I like about the virtual assistant, there's no bias when they will just go to your Facebook Messenger and message everybody. They don't know that you know them. They don't know that you don't know them. They don't know that you're their best friend. They'll just go down the list. But maybe that's the habit you get into. And like, I'm going to do that for 10 people that I know I don't have addresses for. I'm just going to say, I want to send you something really cool. Can I get your mail? Or I'm updating my mailing address. Can I get your mailing address and your date of birth? And then there's 10. Okay, I need to take 15 minutes. I'm going to put them all in. So when I do see a cool picture, or maybe I'll go back to that 10 and go, let's look on their timeline. Oh. So, and maybe I do that once a month. That's 10 people. That's 120 a year.
Well, if I did a virtual assistant and they could if they just blast it out to all 1,000.
Yeah, they will.
Like,
Oh yeah, I was just going to say.
Right.
Yeah.
It's double what I've already
What you
got
have
in
now.
there.
Yeah.
So it just gives me a bigger group of people that I already have.
Yep.
I mean, I could, like, in my mind, Sean, sorry to take up your
Nope.
time here. I feel like I could do one to somebody I know a day.
Right.
Really easy.
Yeah, sure. Got everything.
I could fight to get a second one in 5 days a week on somebody who I want to know more.
Right.
I need to know more.
And maybe you're strategic with that. Okay, and that'll take a little work to, okay,
Yeah.
who are the realtors or mortgage people? Since that's what you're using it for mostly, who do I really want to target? And maybe I'm going to message those.
Right. See, I normally use it just to screw around like I do.
Well, that's
the only reason
okay.
I'm on
That's
Facebook.
fine.
That's
Right.
the only reason I have send out cards, just to screw around.
With all my friends, and when somebody posts something stupid, you're going to hear about it. Perfect.
Hey, you
So
take
we're
classes off
halfway
of
there
Sean,
with
you'll
it.
have some
He
good cards.
gets it.
There's no doubt about it.
We just need
No doubt
a little
about it.
push. But I mean, so where a customer is struggling, which we know that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the virtual assistant, or if you want to do it, be strategic about who's on your list, and who are 10 right now that you're like, man, I'd love to send them cards because I would love to start building that relationship. All right, message those 10. Get out of your own head and simple. Hey, I'm updating my address book. Can I get your mailing address and your date of birth? And if 5 get back to you, you've got 5 more than you had last week. And if you do
Yeah.
that consistently, then you've got the addresses in there. So when you
Yeah.
do see something cool, or put them in your realtor or mortgage or insurance or whatever group, so you can start dripping on them with campaigns. So
Yeah.
just building
Yeah.
your database.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've gone off on tangents. Thanks to our
That's
guests.
good. That's all good. It's all
Say
good.
hi,
I hope
Kevin.
we helped. Hey, thank you.
That vacation.
Yeah. So,
Awesome. All right. Well,
All
hey,
right.
that's a wrap. And guys, please pass it on. Hopefully we've got some good information for you and you picked up a tidbit or two. And, not only do we teach you to be consistent, we want you to teach your customers, we all
Absolutely.
need to make a difference out there.
which will consistently have your check going up.
That's exactly
That's
right.
just a great side benefit.
Yeah. And add gifts.
Yes.
Yeah. Think about Phoebe's contest right now about the Christmas in July. Everyone just do 4 cards
Yep.
with a gift. And it's like funny watching the feed how many people are doing it. But again, those are affiliates. We affiliates. But I brought that up to my B&I group. It says, hey, just one person. Just take one customer, send them this July card. The card, if you don't have an account, the card's going to be free because it's
Right.
first account. I said, and then one gift, just one person. So we'll see what happens next week. I'll have to ask how many people did it.
Yep. All right. Let us know if you've done it. Put in the comments.
Yep, there you go. Thanks,
Joy.
everybody. Have a
See ya.
great week.
Have a great
See you
weekend.
next time. See you,
All right.
Sean.
Bye-bye.